You sort of see this pervasive idea of this sort of ordinary guy who's weird. It sort of pervades the British film industry and Hitchcock films as well. So this was like incredible. I think it had a real influence on the psyche of the United Kingdom, I think, for a considerable time.
Yeah, there's a very weird film, I can't remember its name, but with Harry H. Corbett playing a serial killer in a Macintosh and sort of pebble glasses, which is clearly a Christie reference too.
Yes.
And yes, that figure that we have, the kind of sort of the dirty old man in the raincoat, but also the quiet man, the ordinary seeming, almost too good for looking down on you, who actually harbours these totally twisted, corrupt fantasies. I think Christie was just instrumental in forging that kind of. I think also, so speaking of films, the way that he's played by Richard Attenborough in the film 10 Rillington Place, the way Christie is depicted, I think is very influential on Anthony Hopkins' portrayal of Hannibal Lecter. The sort of whispering, sort of suave, insinuating, apparently educated older figure who seems to. It's like what I was alluding to about him seeming to retain his respectable aura despite the atrocities he's committed, the eeriness of that. I think that's very much entered a sort of a type in movies.
Yeah, and it's sort of, it's a terrifying bogeyman figure, as all of that shows, as he was at the time, and he has been subsequently, as all those sightings have been showed. This kind of ordinariness makes it, and it's sort of his invisibility. He sort of worked because he was this invisible middle-aged, middle-class, or lower middle-class figure who just looked like a respectable guy. And you wouldn't have really, aside from his glasses and stuff, you wouldn't really have been able to pick him out of a lineup. And so, but a lot of men would have looked like that.
He was like every man. And it struck me that with all these sightings, hundreds and hundreds of sightings poured in when he was on the run, it was as if he'd already become a mythological figure. Instantly. He was like a ghost or a creature of fantasy. But that was because he looked so normal. He looked so familiar. And he kind of could be anyone. He was everyone. That sense pervaded the case, and I think it was extremely unsettling.
Yeah,
he was almost a kind of throwback Victorian figure in a way. It's someone who disapproved of the younger generation, sort of 50s kids.
Yes,
and there was like a horrific contradiction in the fact that he was this. Upright representative of a more moral age who was doing these unthinkably immoral things.
Yeah.